The New York Yankees have made multiple playoff moves directly ahead of the first wild card game between the Yankees and the Boston Red Sox, with multiple different players having their roles changed, while also the truth has been revealed on one of the Yankees' biggest question marks surrounding their playoff plans. And now that we have an answer, we are going to go over all of this. We're going to jump right into things as always. But guys, before we do that, if you're part of that 73% that's not subscribed to Yankees Digest, make sure to subscribe. MLB playoff season is here, and the New York Yankees have a chance to go far. It all depends on if they'll be able to get past the Boston Red Sox, and we have a ton of updates surrounding it every day. And we have so much more planned going into the offseason as well. But jumping right into the video, guys, there is a lot to go over. Yes, my hair did change throughout that little intro thing because I just wanted to change it. But not the point. The point is the New York Yankees have a lot of questions that they have to answer. Aaron Boone had to make his plans very clear on who he wanted in and who he wanted out for the Yankees going into this series against the Boston Red Sox. Now, we knew some names were more clearly going to be out. One of them was Luis Gil, and that was because he had recently pitched. They didn't want to pitch him on short notice, and we do have a huge answer to why that is as well. We have another answer to that. But just jumping into everything, it was revealed by Chris Kirschner that the Yankees go with 14 position players and 12 pitchers. Paul Blackburn is on, Luis Gil is off, Will Warren is on, JC Escara is on, and Austin Slater is off. So there have been a lot of questions surrounding what exactly the Yankees were going to do, and now we have a clearer answer here. On top of that, Ryan Yarbrough also will not be with the Yankees in the playoffs. And this also is fairly surprising that it is Blackburn over Brent Hedrick because, as mentioned by Brian Hoke after game 162, Brent Hedrick had a locker at the Yankees clubhouse after the game. Luis Gil is starting game 62, so he may be off the roster for a wild card series. However, Hedrick is also off, and I did want Brent Hedrick on it over Paul Blackburn because Blackburn with the Yankees has not been good. A 5.28 ERA. He does have 16 strikeouts in 8 appearances, which is pretty nice, but the whip of 1.30 is not very good at all. So the strikeouts have been excellent, but he does have an elevated ERA, which is very worrisome. But the Yankees have decided that one of their lefty arms is going to be Blackburn over Ryan Yarbrough, so that means it's going to be Blackburn and Tim Hill going into this playoff series. Now, obviously, the Yankees do have 2 of their 3 starting pitchers as lefties in Max Fried and Carlos Rodon. Their number 1 and number 2 pitchers are both lefties, so that is something there. But at the end of the day, this is fairly surprising, hence the sirens outside, because, look, things are getting scary right now, man. I really thought we would see Brent Hedrick in the playoff roster, at least for this, and apparently the Yankees have decided to go in a different direction. We do see the full roster here. I'm not going to sit here forever. If you want to pause your screen and check it out, you easily can. Obviously there's a lot of the names that we knew were going to be here, but also, like, really when it comes down to it, the big surprise, it feels like, especially going up against none other than Gerrit Cole, the AL Cy Young favorite, who is a lefty, it is fairly surprising to not see Austin Slater on this list. There was a lot of expectation that Slater would be available to play for the Yankees facing off against Gerrit Cole. The Yankees ultimately decided to not go in that direction whatsoever. I did a whole video on the Yankees situation, on who they're starting, why I think it's absolutely horrific. Make sure to go check that video out as well. But in regards to this, in regards to everything that we're seeing right now, we do see JC Escara get another chance with the Yankees as they add a third catcher to the team. So Ben Rice doesn't have to be behind the plate as much because the Yankees are going to try to use him and optimize the bat more than anything else, especially because Rice hasn't caught a whole lot, so they'll have Escara as another backup option at that catcher position. So Escara, who's a lefty like Rice and Austin Wells, played for a bit with the Yankees, had 84 at-bats, had 17 hits. It's a 202 batting average. He had a 629 OPS and OPS plus a 77. He's a catcher, so you don't need the numbers to be absolutely standout excellent. So Escara is just there because he can catch, and obviously if something were to happen to Wells or Rice, you do want another catcher on there. So Escara he's just full depth, which is honestly not a bad idea whatsoever. Meanwhile, Austin Slater, the guy who many expected to be on because of Crochet, he's off after having a 120 batting average with the Yankees, having 3 hits in 25 at-bats with 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored. He had a 240 OPS, so his numbers are just not very good. The Yankees ultimately decided to not go with Austin Slater, to just keep him on the sidelines for now, which is going to be interesting how the Yankees navigate this whole situation going forwards. But we do have more updates as well on the Yankees. As we know, Aaron Boone, one of the biggest decisions was going to be who is going to be pitching that third game, because fans, they wanted Cam Schlittler to do it. I wanted Cam Schlittler to do it. But at the same time, what we're also seeing has been a whole lot of different options. I mean, Will Warren's around. Boone has made it clear that he's not exactly sure where Will Warren is going to fit into this whole system. And obviously the games 1 and 2, we're going to see Max Fried, then Carlos Rodon, so the Yankees can try to get in and get out as fast as humanly possible. But the question is, who plays in that third game? Well, we do have an answer to that question, and fans can rejoice because Cam Schlittler will start game 3 for the Yankees if it's needed, as mentioned by Kirshner. So when we consider that, we do now know that Cam Schlittler is the guy for the Yankees going forwards for that third pitching spot, which I think absolutely is the right call. Schlittler's been nothing short of phenomenal as a rookie with the Yankees. And yeah, he hasn't pitched a whole lot. He doesn't have too much MLB experience. But the other two options are Luis Gil, who's struggled and also recently pitched, and then Will Warren, who's had a worse season than Schlittler. Now, Warren did have a solid season with the Yankees. He pitched the entire year, didn't really get gassed at all, but his ERA was elevated at a 4.44. Meanwhile, Cam Schlittler was just downright phenomenal this season. Now, Luis Gil was the other option here that many did expect, because myself included, just because the fact is he's pitched before. The Yankees opted not to go with Luis Gil in the wild card. I do imagine Gil will be back after the wild card, assuming the Yankees can get past the Red Sox. For the ALDS, if the Yankees can get there, they will call Gil back up as probably their fourth arm. Gil pitched 57 innings this year, had 41 strikeouts, a whip of 1.404, and a 3.32 ERA. The ERA wasn't bad, but he did lose some velocity and also just wasn't able to fully get it back after just really dealing with that injury that kept him out the majority of the season. But Gil's shown good numbers, and there is a chance the Yankees do decide to pitch him over Warren. I actually would expect that they do that. So we know that about Gil, but Cam Schlittler, he had a 2.96 ERA this season and 14 starts with the Yankees. In 73 innings pitched, he had 84 strikeouts and a 1.29 ERA with a 2.0 WAR. Schlittler deserved it. He showed all season long that he deserved it, or all season that he was here long, that he deserved to be a playoff staple. The Yankees understand that Schlittler's got a huge future with this team. Obviously, he was hyped up. He was one of their top 10 prospects when they brought him in, but nobody saw this coming. None of us could have expected that it was going to work out this well, and now the rookie is poised for a huge role in the playoffs. Now, that's risky because you're putting a lot of pressure on him, especially in a Game 3 situation where it's win or go home. So with the Yankees there, it is interesting. There will be some thought, though. If the Yankees do win this game, I imagine they are going to consider using Schlittler for Game 2 instead, so they don't have to put him in that scenario, because the Yankees would definitely rather Carlos Rodon be their guy in a win-or-go-home situation, because Rodon's such a proven guy. He's been out there. He's won awards. He's just been an absolutely phenomenal pitcher in the past, so I wouldn't be shocked if they do decide to make a change here. They could go either one. I would imagine the Yankees do end up going with Carlos Rodon in Game 2, though, just because it doesn't really make a ton of sense to hold off on your best arms. Carlos Rodon is the guy who we should trust more than Schlittler. I understand that maybe you decide maybe you want to go left, right, left, which has some sense, but you just go Rodon. You pitch your best pitchers when they're available. Also, if the Yankees do win behind Rodon in Game 3, then you can't pitch him for a little bit longer, and you want Fried and Rodon pitching as much as humanly possible. Those are the guys you should trust. Those are the guys you should try to move forwards with, and that is what I expect them to do. But Schlittler will be there, and if they need a fourth arm, I do imagine it'll be Luis Gil, but it could also be a bullpen game. Maybe the Yankees do call Ryan Yarbrough back up and have him pitch the first 4 or 5 innings of a game and then throw someone else out there. Maybe try Paul Blackburn, though that seems like a terrible idea, but we're going to see what happens. What do you guys want to see happen with the Yankees? Where do you want to see this pitching rotation go? What do you want to see the lineups look like? Let me know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day. Let's beat the brakes off of the Red Sox.